quiet on the set? Can we please have quiet on the set?
It stinks.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the podcast of Thunder, the podcast of rock and roll, the only podcast on the Boom broadcast where you can stink and still be cool. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for It Stinks right here on the Boom Broadcasting Channel. Yours truly, Shawn, in the driver's seat. Crazy Wednesday night, crazy week. It's fall. Back in school, ring the bell, pack the bags. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Yes, we do that every fall when school lets back open. Me and little Lucas, we sing a rendition of that song. But it's fall, and I get so excited during the fall time of the year because we got pumpkin beer, pumpkin spice, pumpkin cider, pumpkin pie, pumpkin hors d'oeuvres, pumpkin whiskey. Yes, I know somebody who can find a way to brew in pumpkin spice into their brandy and whiskey. Yes, it's pumpkin season. We even got the pumpkin festival the first weekend of October right here in my little town. So it's big, it's fall, but not only it's all about the pumpkin season, the fall season, the football season, the college football season, the haunted houses, the hay rides, the happy trails in the hay rides, going out to the fields, all of that good fall festival, fall things, fall harvest thing, Halloween, all of that goes on in the fall. But the one reason why on this podcast right here on the Boom broadcast, we love the fall is because all our shows come right back on. They go week by week and they just start staggering in. I told you last week on the show, long show last week, 1 hour, so much to cover. Had to wrap up the Bel Air, had to talk Big Brother, had to talk Tulsa King, so much on down. But this week right here, not only are you going to get one episode of It Stink, but following WOD, still waiting to old check off approval from the president. Got to get back with him on this. So we're dropping this right now without even getting the approval yet. We're just going to ask for forgiveness later from the president of Boom Broadcast. And hope I don't get sent to that H&R, HR, Human Resources Disciplinary Room. But we're going to ask forgiveness later because we're going to drop 2 episodes of It Stinks right here in this week. The original one airing right now on Thursday morning. The second episode will air on Saturday following WOD. So as soon as WOD rolls off, gonna roll in episode 2 of It Stinks, because on episode 2 of It Stinks, we got to talk the Chicago's that just happened on Wednesday night. We got to talk Agatha the Witch. That's on Disney Plus right there. Another great show. So we're going to talk that on the Saturday episode this week for the special edition. But this week, we're going to dial back and talk about Tulsa King, talk about From. Yes, From is back, so I'm very excited. And we probably save Big Brother to the Saturday one. So all the Big Brother fans, if you tuned in today for Big Brother knowledge, come back on Saturday. Keep on watching because you'll probably watch From. You'll probably watch Tulsa King. So keep watching, but then come back on Saturday for that special edition of It Stinks where we talk about Agatha the Witch, Big Brother, and all 3 Chicago's. I'm telling you, Wednesday night, Chicago night, it was lit tonight. Chicago Med, Fire, and PD last night. They just, jumped on in all 3 episodes. Can I get a woo like Ric Flair one more time for how good it was? So, without further ado, let's roll right into Tulsa King. Somebody did say, hey, are you going to do a little bit with Survivor this year? We may try to work it. It's just so many shows on NBC, ABC, CBS, FBI that we got to get ready to cover. Fire Country. Then you got stuff on Hulu. Disney Plus with Agatha the Witch, the new Marvel's TV show with that one. Then you got Tulsa King, Paramount Plus, from on MGM. So Prime's got a new show coming out that I'm going to be checking out, getting in on that one. So it's so much. We're going to try to get them all in on one episode. If we can't, we'll be doing those special editions on Saturday morning or either right before you get ready to watch some football on Sunday. Without further ado, Tulsa King, episode 2, Dwight, Hostile Takeover is what I'm calling this one. The businessman Dwight does what he does best. This episode now sets up Tulsa King for the remainder of the season. And I like Tulsa King when they do that. Dwight, first thing we think about Dwight is now it opens up that when we're watching the first part of Tulsa King, he's back at his establishment, his bar that he's running. Dwight having a good time, fresh suit on, table full of people around him, telling old stories, got the crew in there, got the gang in there, just hanging out. But there's a guy walking around this club establishment, and I'm like, who is this guy? He's a cowboy guy. We don't know his name. He's walking around, and he resembles the guy from the end of episode 1 when they made a phone call. So I started putting 2 together. Is this him or not? And I didn't want to peel back episode 1. So I said, let me keep watching to see what happens. So as Tulsa King keeps going on, you see that Kyle Thrasher, the guy who Dwight had words with on the first episode of Tulsa King, season 2, is meeting with the district attorney. I said, hey, where's this going? Find out that Thrasher not only is one of the heavy wheat suppliers in that area, but he's got everybody on the payroll. So he's telling the DA, we got to get rid of this Dwight guy. I'm thinking like, man, are they going to try to kill Dwight? Is this going to be an assassination of Dwight? Hope we don't get shut down for using those terminologies, but we're talking TV. So I'm like, what in the world's going on? How are they going to get rid of Dwight? Well, then it rings right back to my mind. It comes right back to me. Dwight's pending the case. Get this guy to be the judge for the case, the prosecutor, the judge for the case. He can give Dwight a long sentence for racketeering and all this stuff Dwight's in for. Give him a long sentence. That's how you get rid of Dwight. And he told him, remember who you work for. So when you're the DA and you got an outside person who's one of the biggest clientele drug dealers in the drug industry in Tulsa with all this stuff with the legalizing of marijuana over there in Tulsa, when you got him telling you that his hands are tied, he don't know what to do. He's got to take care of his family. So I said, oh, man, please don't get my boy Dwight. Don't lock my boy Dwight up. So then we roll into the court case. We see that he is the DA, district attorney, is the judge for this case. As Dwight, who's he going to represent? Who's going to represent him? Dwight says he's going to represent himself. He asks Dwight again, are you sure about this? Dwight says yes. And Dwight makes a funny comment. That's what I like about Sylvester Stallone in this episode, in this show. He's just so good with those comments. And with having that background, you really believe that he's truly a crime mafia boss. He said, hey, I spent a lot of time in the joint, read a lot of books. Think I'm good with defending myself. I think I know the law. So as we continue on with the episode, Cheeky gets a call. Now, remember episode 1, Cheeky killed Jerry and called Goody and let Goody hear him killing Jerry. Cheeky gets a call from somebody in Tulsa who says, you're running into my territory. You expanded without asking permission. Now, Cheeky did bust his chops and said, hey, you got some stones calling me, not calling me when my dad passed, which we condone, which we know Cheeky killed his dad. But, he's still playing that role like my dad just had a heart attack. So, Cheeky saw like that. You got some stones calling me saying, hey, you're running my territory. You didn't call to even wish we could dose for my dad. And that's something that, in this mafia family, no matter if they're, spare not, that's something meant you always pay your respects to other families' bosses and stuff when they pass. So, Cheeky busts him on that. And then he told Cheeky that your boy Dwight, who still works for you guys. See, he doesn't know that Cheeky and Dwight's had a falling out and Dwight's gone solo, been exiled to Tulsa, set up shop, and now he's kind of doing his own thing and pulled away from Cheeky and them. He says, hey, your boy Dwight's selling my territory. I don't like you guys expanding, so guess what? You're going to have to pay me a cut of what you're making. And remember that because we're going to get back to that conversation as we progress on with a breakdown of It Stinks. So, as the show continues on, we have a great show. I call him the Island of Misfit Toys, Dwight's crew. He's turned some common people in Tulsa and just turned them into gangsters and mobsters. And this guy went from being Tyson went from being an Uber driver to now Dwight's personal driver. Dwight's second man in charge, is Dwight, Goody, and Tyson. So, all this stuff is going on. And Tyson, and I forgot the guy's name just to quit, runs the bar, that's Dwight's business partner, come up with the idea. And this is the things I like about Tulsa King, that, these guys are finding ways to earn money for the business and still being loyal to Dwight and still find a way to make more money for Dwight. So they come up with this idea of going to the guy. And remember season 1, the cowboy that had the cowboy dealership gave Tyson a hard time when he went to go buy Dwight a Lincoln Navigator truck. Kind of say, hey, you don't have money to buy this car. Who are you? You need to be looking at something over here, something over there. We got something in the scratch and dip that's maybe more your price range. Not knowing this guy was working for one of the biggest mafia bosses in New York now. So they come with this idea to cut the catalytic converters off because Tyson tells the guys, for every one we get, that's 3,000 to 5,000 a pop for the platinum in the catalytic converters. So they hit the entire car lot. The whole crew goes out, mask up, jacks, saws, electric saws, steel saws. It was just a funny scene right there. And take everyone to catalytic converters. Now this guy comes back to Dwight and says, I think I know who took my catalytic converters. Dwight says, I don't know nothing about this. But Dwight says, I can get them back. And I think you need some protection. Let me be your protection so these things don't happen. And I said right there, once again, these guys have learned from Dwight how to earn for the business. What is how you done it. So now this guy has to pay to get his catalytic converters back, which they only give him half of them back. And he's got to pay Dwight a monthly stipend for protection so that this doesn't happen again. Once again, Tulsa King just knocks it out with that part right there. And I mean, really thought it was smart because now he expands Dwight's business because, like Dwight told him, we got to start expanding. We got to get out of the marijuana business and the dispensary business. I told you in the first episode, he met Harlan in the jail, in the county jail, found out about the weed industry business. Now they got this going on where they're thinking about, taking over the car lot business. And we find out that he's interested in selling the business because the bartender, who's Dwight's business partner, mentioned, would you be interested in selling this car lot to a potential buyer, knowing it would be him and Dwight? So you're going to definitely see that again as the show progresses on. And you're going to see that Dwight is expanding in Tulsa, buying these businesses out and kind of hitting them in different directions of making money. So then we get down to Dwight goes to the jail to meet Harlan. Him and Harlan have a great conversation. He offers Harlan $7.5 million. Harlan paid $12 million to get into the wind turbulence industry. He offered him $7.5 million, told Harlan, with $7.5 million, that gives you protection in here while you're locked up. It keeps your commissary flooded with snacks, anything you want. And I got connections where if somebody challenges you, whether somebody in with you or if it's an officer, I got them on the payroll where you won't have to want for nothing in jail till you get out. And when you get out, we'll connect. Harlan didn't want to take the $7.5 million, but Dwight said, the state you're in right now, you're not in a place to negotiate. It's either take this or you out to the wolves when they seen y'all. His hands were tied, so he had to take it. Harlan takes the deal. Dwight and Tyson go to the bank, see George. Another great scene with all three of them together. Karen comes down. They have a great scene right there talking about they can approve a $7.5 million loan. They only can approve $3 million loans. Dwight tries his best to get them to approve it. They won't approve it. So now Dwight has to figure out how to come up with $7.5 million to buy Harlem out because he's already shook all head and said, this deal is done. You'll see the money in your account. So we get to the end of the show. And that's why I said, remember what Cheeky said earlier when I told Cheeky, they said, we want a cut of what Dwight's making that you're going to pay our family for expand our territory without asking permission to come to Tulsa to expand the way you guys have expanded. Cheeky calls Goody. Goody was very upset that Cheeky called him because Goody was like, hey, you killed Jerry, my main man, on the phone with me. You got some stones calling me, Cheeky. Cheeky comes up with a plan. And I was like, oh, man, please tell me Goody's not going to fall for this. We're going to have to find out in episode 3 or as the season goes on. But Cheeky conspires a plan with Goody, and Goody never said yes or no. Goody just said, I like Tulsa, where they're going to take out their competition and tell Dwight, we're working with you because this is what's going to happen. This guy's charging us because of you, so we got to partner together to take this guy out. Then they're going to use Goody, and then Goody's going to flip and use Cheeky, and Cheeky said, Goody, we can take Dwight out and give you Tulsa. It'll be yours to run now. And Goody said, I like it down here. I like Tulsa. So it makes me wonder if Goody's going to keep his allegiance to Dwight and tell Dwight what Cheeky's planning, and they flip it and try to take Cheeky out, or if Goody's going to flip and go back to Cheeky. And if I was Goody, I wouldn't do that because, you saw what Cheeky do. Cheeky, he's a cutthroat guy. You don't want to do business with him. You want to stay with Dwight. Dwight's feeding you. You're running the casino. You're running the bar. You're the next one in line. Dwight's got you right. He's keeping the money coming. Y'all are expanding. If I was Goody, I would stay with Dwight, but we got to see as we continue to watch Tulsa King right there on Paramount Plus app. Great episode right here. Another good episode of Tulsa King. Now, let's talk about everybody's favorite worm-eating zombie monster show. It is back from season 3. We had to wait a year for it to come back, but man, are we glad that From is back. And if you haven't watched season 1, season 2, pick a weekend you do not have nothing planned. This will be a great weekend with all that rain coming in North Carolina. You cannot get out. Or if you're on the East Coast, or if you're right in about that Mid-South, Midwest Tennessee, wherever you're at, will be a great weekend to watch From. Because once you start episode 1 in season 1, you're going to be hooked all the way through. Season 3, they step on the gas. That's what I've been saying to everybody I talk to who watches From. They step on the gas. Season 2, we saw nobody die. Now, you saw people die, but none of those characters that we have grown accustomed to on From that we know are the core, the season 1 characters, and the main characters from season 2 that's on the bus. The Elgins, the Randalls, the little lady with the glasses who just always seems to pop up. We saw none of them die. Now, we did see some people in season 2 die that were just in the town that first night when the bus came in who did not believe what Boyd and Gabe and all them told them. We saw them die, but none of our main crew. So we open up season 3. Boyd has a conversation with Father Country. We see this a lot in From that Boyd has a way either to communicate with Father Country or communicating with his deceased wife. We don't know if it comes from when Marlon gave Boyd those worms in his blood. We don't know where it comes from. But he talks to Father Country, and Father Country's trying to tell Boyd once again, you can't save everybody. You're doing good, but boy, you're gonna worry yourself trying to save everybody. We find out that Ethan has gone off in the woods looking for his mom. And if it wasn't for Victor telling Ethan's dad and sister, who's to know what would happen to Ethan? He could have got eaten alive out there by the night creatures when it got nighttime. He would not have been able to get back to Colin house or his house before nightfall. So good job on Victor doing that. He was mad. Victor, you supposed to be my friend. You told on me. Victor is very worried that things are definitely going south. He feels like in the first two seasons, Boyd has really disturbed the undisturbable out there in Fromland, and things are going to go south. They haven't never had a winner. He keeps saying this. When seasons change, things get worse. And Victor's been there since a kid, so he knows. But it picks back up after all of that at the beginning that Ethan's mom, and I can't call her name, she's back in the real world. She's at St. Mercy's Hospital in Maine. She was told that she was found 3 days ago, and she's been kind of in a coma-like stage the past 3 days by some hitchhikers who saw her walking on the mountain trail, and she was pretty much out of it. They did tell her that we got police coming to talk to you because we got to follow protocol. She gets out of Dodge. I'm not talking to police. Nobody's going to believe me. Don't know what's going to, hey, they're going to think I'm some crazy woman and put me in a psych ward, put me in a mental institution. I know I've been to this land. I know this land is real. My family's still there. I got to continue on my mission, get back. So as she goes out into the real world, she stops by a vintage pop-up yard sale, sees two girls, and asks can they use the phone. She calls her mom. Her mom says, where have you been? We've been calling you and your family for the past, they didn't specify a time, but I'm just going to say a year. We didn't hear nothing. She tells her mom she's good. Things are great. You're not going to hear from me for a while again, but I'm okay. I just want to let you know I'm okay. She then goes to a church. And this is where all of my friend fans that I talk with, text with about, we all got the same conclusion of this part. When she asks the priest and tells the priest, first of all, she's upset that her son Thomas died. Her baby Thomas died. But as she goes into, I've seen some things and I've been places that if I told you, you wouldn't even believe. She runs out of the confession booth. The priest follows her. And the priest says, you need help. I want to help you. Now, to me, that raised a red flag in the from book because I said, has he been there and did he get out? Because he said he was very adamant on, let me help you. I will believe what you tell me. Let me talk to you. But during that time, she opens up Victor's lunchbox because Victor always told her, she starts talking about Victor, how he packed her a lunch for her journey. She opens up the lunchbox and finds Victor's home address in the lunchbox. And it happens to be in Maine. So now that gives you another clue for all those From watchers that guess what? From land where they were captured at with these night creatures has to be somewhere in that Maine Canadian border, no United States of America border. It's got to be somewhere in a bubble right there because there's no way she could get pushed out of a lighthouse and end up in Maine if y'all the way in Portland, Oregon, or in Miami, Florida, or in Charlotte, North Carolina, or in Chicago, Illinois. It wouldn't make sense. So she's got to be somewhere on the outskirts of Maine by the Canadian border or by the Atlantic Ocean to get put there. But that's another theory for another episode on another day. So she goes to this house. She sees Victor's dad. He said, how did you get that? She explains to him this stuff. And he goes in the house and he's still literally like, how did you get my son's lunchbox? I've been looking for him since we lost him. And I started wondering, did his dad get out? Because we know in season 2, we get the back end story of Victor, that him and his sister were put in the underground shelter while his mom, and she told him, stay there until I come back to get you. We know that his sister ran out behind his mom, and we don't know what happened to his mom and his sister. But we know Victor stayed there until finally he felt like coming out. Everybody had been killed except the little boy in white, who's been with Victor the whole way he's grown up in Fromland, from a 5-year-old child to a grown man now. Victor's been there for some years. This guy's been up there, I know, for 15, 20 years in From Land. Somebody get this guy out, get him back to the real world. So we know that. So did his dad get out? Did his mom get killed by the night creatures? Did his sister get killed by the night creatures? Did his sister get out? Those are the questions that we're going to have to get answered in this season. And they're doing good in this season because then we jump back to From Land and things are getting a little turmoil over there. It's getting a little chaotic. Food's gone rotten. Never has the food been rotten. Kenny and Ethan's dad decide to go out on a mission looking for his wife. Boy tells them, keep straight, follow the spider webs. Once you get to the spider webs, keep pressing forward. You'll see the lighthouse. We didn't get to the lighthouse. We saw the lighthouse and we came back, him and Sarah. He told her, take the talisman, put it in the tent. You'll see the tent that me and Sarah stayed in. We left it there. Put it in the tent to protect you at night from the night creatures so they can't get you. As they go on their journey, they go a complete, same way Boy told them to go, it doesn't lead that path. They find some makeshift skeletons, some log houses. They end up crashing the log house at night, put the talisman up. During that night, they hear stuff around the log house. They don't know if it's the night creatures or if it was the spiders. They don't know what it was. We don't know what it was. We didn't get a chance to see what it was. That's what they do so good about From. They don't give it to you right then. They make you wait. It may be season 4 or 5 before we find out what was out there tapping over those log cabins. Or we may can find out at the end of this season. So after that night, he tells Kenny, hey, my kids already lost their mom. They're not going to lose their dad. Let's just give up, go back to base, go back to the camp, and regroup. Well, during this time, we found out from Donna that the food has gone rotten. It's gone rotten. The soil is bad. All the food rotten. They made uprise flower beds, uprise garden beds to grow their food. All that's rotten. So now we're out of food, so we got to rationalize food. Randall wants to kill a cow. Ethan doesn't want Randall to kill the cow, and I forgot these animals were found. And we were wondering because season 1, season 2, we didn't see no animals. Then season 3, the first episode, we see sheep, goats, cows, cats, dogs, you name it. We see all of this. But it was told in the episode, either Donna mentioned it to Boyd or Boyd mentioned to Donna, that one of them found the farm animals when they were out exploring. So, From did good of finding a way to connect point A to point B without just saying, hey, ta-da, there's the farm animals. So we done good. And we did know that Sarah's brother, before he killed himself in From Land, was tending to farming activities. Never said farmland animal activities, but he was doing a lot of farming stuff like that. So maybe these are animals that he found that they just been tending, they never showed them on the show. So as they find out they're not going to kill the animals, Donna and Boyd have a very heated conversation where they said, we got to start planning for the future. We have no food. The people in From Land just go to Kenny's mom's house at the restaurant. She runs the restaurant and she lives across the street. They go there and they just bomb raid her house, rush it in, get all the food. I mean, free for all, mayhem, everything. So now all the food that she had saved, she was telling them, this food is what I have to feed you guys. If you take it, we have nothing now. So they take all the food. She's worried. Boyd and Donna come up with a plan that if push comes to shove, we can kill a cow. That's enough meat to last us for a month feeding everybody. And we got 2 cows. We got some sheep. So, we can figure things out. We got some goats. Do we want to kill the animals? No, because the animals give us milk, give us eggs, stuff like that with the chickens. But if we have to, push come to shove, we will. And this is when From just turns the night switch off and it gets wild. So it's nighttime. Boyd and them are already in the house. Gabe has been in the post office with Boyd. They brought Gabe in because he was getting over from being so drunk, trying to figure things out. He drunk himself into a deep drunkenness stage. We see the night creatures. And the night creatures, pretty much in season 1, season 2, have been knock on the door, let me in, kill you, torture you, do things to kind of rattle you up, talk to you, and get in your head to make you believe that they're your friend to let them in so they can kill everybody. That's how they feed off of eating the humans. Well, this season right here, the episode 1 of season 3, the night creatures have gotten smart. So they set a trap to lure the people out because they know the people are no longer going to come out, no longer going to open the doors to let them in. They set a trap. They get all the animals out of the farm cabinet, out of the barn, out of the fence area. Boy sees the cattle and the sheep running through town. He says, I got to do something. This is our food. Him and Gabe spring into action. Ethan Dad springs into action. Victor springs into action. Fatima can't spring into action because she's still pregnant right now. Elgin, he's just pretty much trying to stay awoke because every time he falls asleep, he sees a skeleton look-alike woman like Fatima in his dreams that's either drowning him or killing him. So he's not there. Donna's trying to spring into action to save these animals. And we didn't know that some of the night creatures stayed in the barn. So everybody springs into action. They fight off the night creatures. They do what they got to do. They get the animals, the goats, and the chickens to go with Victor and Ethan's dad and Gabe. Kenny's mom comes out to help Boy get this last cow. Because they kill one of the cows right in front of Gabe. She comes out to help Boy get this cow, even though he encouraged her, go with Victor, go with Gabe, go with Ethan's dad. Don't come with me. I got it. I got a talisman. I'll figure it out. She is insisting, helping Boy save this cow. They go in the barn. Boy puts the talisman up, and I say, man, they made it. Yes. Boy saves the day again. Way to go, Sheriff Boy. We are behind you all the way. And we know that you're going to get these people out of here. He does it again. The hero comes through again. And what happens? We find out that the monsters are already in there. And rule of thumb for all people who are new to From, the talisman keeps the monsters out. But once you let them in, or if they're already in a building, even with a talisman in there, it has no effect on them. Boyd encouraged them, kill me, take me, kill me, take me right now. Don't do nothing to her, take me. And the cowboy one says, boy, and I like that the writers played back to the biggest scene in season 2 of the last episode. The cowboy says, you said nothing will break you. You can't break me. And that was a good playback for the writers right there, because that was one of the most triumphant moments of From, when Boyd overcame the music box curse to get Randall's, Ethan's sister, and I believe it was Sarah. All three of them, I don't know if it's Sarah Making, but another person, out of that trance, where they were just in a deep trance getting ready to die. And when he breaks that music box and he blows that torch out and he's out of the dungeon back into the woods, he looks up to the sky and says, you can't break me. You will not break me. You can't break me. And everybody was so happy because once again, the hero triumphed. But they said, boy, you told us you can't break me. We can't break you. So we're going to see if that's really true. Boyd insists on them, kill me, don't do nothing to her, kill me. And you see that they handcuff him to a beam, and he has to watch them kill Kenny's mother live in the flesh. And as this is going on, you feel so sympathetic. Boyd's yelling at her, focus on me. Look at me. Don't look at them. You're so strong. You're so brave. You're so brave. You're so strong. You could just hear it in his voice that he felt bad, and it's playing back in his mind what it was said. It's going to be a day you cannot save everybody in this town. Great episode of From. Way to start season 3, episode 1 off. Cannot wait till Sunday at midnight. We'll be locked in watching episode 2. I thought that the writers, The production, the storyline for episode 1 was just great. I thought it laid out a great format for them to follow every week, building off of this. Because when we get to episode 2, and we're just going to play some armchair booking right now, Gabe, Ethan's dad, Victor, all of them are going to want to know, why did the monsters not kill you, Boyd? Most time they kill everybody in their sight. She got killed and you come out. That's going to raise some questions. And a lot of people forgot, Boyd is the only one that's killed a monster in Fromland. He killed one with that blood that was given to him by Marlon in the dungeon. So you're going to have those questions. You're going to have people wondering, can we trust Boyd? Is he a monster? Is he not a monster? Is he working with them? All this stuff is going to rise. And I'm telling you, Randall's going to be the one that escalates this up the ladder of getting people maybe to turn against Boyd to figure out what's going on. So Boyd's going to have a lot of questions to answer. Kenny's probably going to spin out of control. He lost his dad in season 1. He lost his dad because Sarah left the doorway to open up the door. She left it cracked after visiting her dad that was in the hospital that night, locked up, so that the monsters could get to him because she wanted to save her brother. So, he's going to be upset about that because there's 2 people he's lost in Fromland due to negligence of somebody else. And with this one right here, it wasn't Boyd's fault because Boyd told her, go with Victor, go with Gabe, don't come with me. And she chose to go to help Boyd save the cow. I think Boyd will be able to get out of this, but they're going to ask some questions. Donald's probably going to have some questions. So I can't wait for episode 2 to come. Also, we're going to want to know, with Kenny. And he finds out because they're still trying to get back. They're camping out there. So they're going to try to get back. We're going to find out what happened with that. When they come back and find out, all of this. So a lot's going to happen on the next episode. Also, we're going to find out with Ethan's mom. She's going to continue telling Victor's dad about Fromland. Will they figure something out to figure out how to get them out? A lot of questions going into episode 2. I can't wait. It's going to be great. I am just truly ready for From right here, and also for Tulsa King on Instincts. Don't forget, before we sign off, Saturday, soon as WOD is over, we're going to be dropping a special edition of Instincts. We're going to be talking about Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD, and also we're going to be talking about Agnes the Witch on Marvel. Disney dropped another Marvel miniseries, and if you remember, Agatha was on WandaVision and was a very critical player of making everybody figure out in WandaVision what she was the main character behind, who did everything. She killed the dog. She made Vision do some stuff. She made Wanda do stuff. She made the kids, out of whack. So we get to see her side as she has her spin-off from WandaVision with Agatha the Witch. We'll be breaking down the first 3 episodes of that on Saturday, right after WOD. We want to thank everybody for tuning in to Instincts right here on the Boom Broadcasting. Don't forget, Big Brother fans, tune in on Saturday after WOD. Talk to Big Brother on that episode. So much TV to talk about. Man, we may be doing 2-3 episodes a week, just pushing them out. So whenever you see Instincts on the Boom Broadcasting, check it out. Whenever you see other content on the Boom Broadcasting, definitely check it out. And don't forget, if you like this video and you like all the other videos on Boom Broadcasting, why have you not subscribed? Do yourself a favor. Subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell button so every time a new video drops on the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel, you get an alert to go watch it. Right here, every time we go live, you get an alert to go watch it. Don't forget, our channel cannot make it without fans like you subscribing and liking our videos. So make sure if you like this video, smash that like button and definitely check us out. This is Shawn. It Stinks TV movie show review. I'm signing off. We'll see you Saturday right after WOD on It Stinks Special Edition Season 2.